I know there's a lot of people in the world, not just America, but in the world, um, who are looking for remote, fully remote opportunities for a couple of reasons. To be around their kids more. All right. So even if you're just at home, no matter where you live in your city, your state, or in your country, you can fulfill the requirements of a position. And it goes deeper to the extent of if you're looking to travel, right? Slow travel or travel full time with some velocity, right? Kind of jumping intercontinental and, from country to country because you have a passion for seeing the world. You can still maintain income by working in a fully remote position. I really want to highlight that this stuff isn't fake, right? I'm currently out here working a fully remote position. Um, right now, I do work at a more part-time slash consolidated schedule um, because I don't need a lot of money. I don't need to make a lot of money. I don't need to work a lot. For those who have more flexibility in their time, or who wants to have who wants to have more options as far as working remote to live abroad or to at least travel more, um, within your career, um, then looking for global positions is key. You're gonna have more um, options as far as jobs you can apply to, um, because you can be flexible in pay, right? Especially if you're traveling more so predominantly outside of your origin country within a year, right? You don't need to make a lot of money, excuse me. So you get be more flexible in your pay. Um, and if you're willing to diversify or even pivot between different careers, you guys can have more options to apply to different jobs as well because you're not sticking to one industry or one type of position, role, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, what I'm saying is if the goal is to just sustain income while working more so on your schedule and your time, then working remotely, guys, is just a blessing. You guys are going to have more options, especially if you're willing to decrease your income, right? And doing that ultimately is the goal, guys, right? We don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, and we don't want to live above our means or don't want to live at a high cost of living. We don't need to do that. That keeps us working forever. This is the step. This is the step to some sort of financial freedom, right? I'm not going to be an advocate or a seller of aggressive investments and doing all this extra shit. It's simple. When you're able to work fully remote due to proximity or lack thereof of proximity due to borders, right? Especially intercontinental borders and time zone changes, it gives you just more flexibility of your day and your time. So what does that mean? If you're working for a US based company and you're anywhere from 6 to 12 hours ahead, well, that means you have your day. You guys get what I'm saying? You have your day. Now, I know you need to adjust to sleeping schedules and things like that, right? But that's going to be really dependent on the job and the needs of the job, the core hours of a job. It also depends if you work full-time or part-time, right? So I would really advise a lot of people, to look at jobs that show remote slash global. Look at jobs that show fully remote. You'll also be surprised at the income you can make. A lot of positions I've seen, you can make anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month, which is pretty cool because a lot of countries in Southeast Asia, right, for a long-term visa, that's what they're looking for expatriates to make, is around that $2,000 to $5,000 a month margin. There's millions of jobs like that, guys, millions. So if this is some interest to you, right, the thumbnail I had is an actual posting, right? And if you guys want, you know what? I'm also going to just put in the description. Apply to that job, project management job. If you have some sort of billing experience, some sort of accounting experience, some sort of management experience, or that's what you're currently in school for or taking a certification on, apply to that job, give it a go. You know, it's good to market ourselves, for one, right? Using tools like LinkedIn, Indeed, sometimes even Facebook. It's good to market ourselves. And also in my description will be my ebook on working remotely to fund your life on your own time. So outside of this one posting, I provide 12 or 13 platforms for you to apply to 10 million different jobs where you can work fully remote and or live abroad, maintaining income and buying back a little bit of your time. The constraints of working at an office, the constraints of driving back to and from work, the constraints of finding out where you're gonna go get lunch, the constraints of trying to figure out how and when you're gonna make a meeting, especially an in-person meeting, right? We can be done with that if we kind of think outside the box, look at our options from a global standpoint. There's millions, tens of millions of jobs where we could all at least apply to and get our foot in the door. So quick video, but I want to touch on that. You know, I wanted to show you guys that you don't ever need a lot of money to live, especially when your mind is open to living anywhere in the world. 2, you can easily make income living abroad. You don't have to be rich because you don't need a lot of money, right? You don't have to have all these degrees. You just gotta know where to look and you gotta apply. If you're interested in more, send me an email or check out my ebook. You can get a job working fully remote and or living abroad, maintaining your income and increasing your lifestyle in the next 6 to 12 months.